So we've got the Pope touching heads with Biden, and I want to try to tie all of this in to the touching heads. Seriously, I didn't even bring it up. Hang on. Sometimes I'm just a special kind of stupid. So, and there's at 720. We talked about the 720 being rising code in yesterday's videos. Hopefully, you're watching this from the playlist. This is crazy stuff. So, you see all the craters, and these were blue men because it was the blue moon. Their heads are connected. We talked about in previous video that, and that's something else I need to go ahead and bring up, how the flower full moon that what's his name? Obama freaked out on, and I pet goat to the blue moon on 8/30 was 117 days. And we were sure that was going to be the rising day. Well, we thought it was going to all go down on the blue moon. I mean, on the flower full moon because Obama started freaking out. Then we're like, well, it must be a jumping off point. And it was 11/7 days for Revelation 11/7 to the blue moon. So it was like, oh, he's going to rise on the blue moon. No, that's another jumping off point. That's all this stuff is. This is three-dimensional chess. This is a big game. The AI can see the future. They knew what we would be doing. So this kind of bizarre stuff just keeps getting more and more bizarre. That's why the time travel movies, that's why Trump's the time travel. That's why Biff time travel. They told you in Back to the Future 2, they based Biff off Trump. Biff time traveled and became a millionaire and owned casinos and richest man on the earth and all that. And there's a song called The Richest Man in Babylon by Thievery Corporation. That's Donald Trump. Does he ever need money? They made the psyop about, oh, he's broke in the 80s. People of the earth, seriously. So he helicopters, whatever he needs. He needs to buy in Mar-a-Lago. We want to build a tower. We got the money. Want to run for president? I got the money. So you get the idea. Money, 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 and The Apprentice, right? That was the theme song. I Pet Goat starts out with a money sign on the ring. So there's these two full moons. Now let's again make sure that we show their heads touching. The heads are touching. And they're saying the clue is the blue moon. The two moons, the two connected heads of I Pet Goat. And there's the connected heads. There's Lily. There's a corona around her. There's a ring around her. That's the corona. She's the total solar eclipse of the year of the blue moons, 2023. She got a rabbit over her head. It was year of the rabbit. And it delivers the flower full moon that burst open, and the Obama cartoon character, his eyes bug out and sweat pours down his forehead. See previous videos. We've already shown you that, so I don't want to keep repeating or wasting your time. There's 12 blue moons back here representing the blue moon year. And you're like, but in a blue moon year, there's 13 moons. Yes, her flower full moon was that 13th moon. It rolls across the floor. It burst open. And Obama starts to sweat. And we knew it was going to happen. I guess I showed it to you anyway, huh? So I want to now go back and look at this blue moon I decided to look at the midpoint of it, possibly being the jumping off point. And as I was looking for the midpoint, came across from blue moon to blue moon exact times based off what times they told us they were: 21:35 on the 30th, 14:31 on August 1st, which I saw the dark night on August 1st on a total solar eclipse in 2008. And I think that full moon is also a cipher. But there it is, 8/1, 14:31. Look how many. It's 29 days. So I did the amount of hours, 24 hours times 29 days, plus added the 7 hours. And lo and behold, it's 703 hours. That's our rising date if he's going down on July 1st in a fake staged event. 703 hours. That's the date. July 3rd. Back to the Future's release date. iPet Goat's original video when they put it to their Heliofont YouTube channel was July 3rd. They took it down and put it back up on the 5th. Believe it or not, 148 days, which is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. Yeah, they put it back up on February 5th, 2024. If you run it to our target date of July 1st and include both dates, well, it's 147 days. We know Trump's running for president is called Agenda 47. He's going to be, the 47th president. But if you include both dates, which they do, you're allowed to include both dates or not, it's that perfect 148 days. 148 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. Hey, it's 727, y'all, the length of iPad Goat. And what else? There's so much to this. I want to iPad Goat release date. I already did that. Just did that. I want to go through my prep real quick. Look into and I need to do that. I'll do that tomorrow. I need to look into all of them in the video. So I accidentally one time, electricity goes out and my ovens, one oven did not go out and the other oven time did. And I noticed, because, that's all I do is look at numbers. They were 3 hours, up 3 hours, minus 3 minutes. And I just left it there and wanted to look at, and I've done this many times before, to see what number combinations I get. And now, anytime it happens, I go back and make sure I set my ovens to this, because there's nothing but palindromes all throughout it. And just to give you an idea, if the last digit ends in a 1, like 601, or over here, where it's whatever the hour begins with, whatever the minute ends in, it's going to be a palindrome. And this goes like 306, 603. And so here's 316, 613. And this is all the way through your 12 hours. 326, 623. It's a palindrome, same number going backwards and forwards. And this goes on. I haven't set all this up, but I could. I mean, this ends in a 5 right here, right? So here's 528, 825. So I realized that what I was looking at was potential ciphers, because I've always thought that numbers that I'm seeing come from the Lord. And you remember my favorite number was 24. As a child, I've shown you the pictures of me with as a kid with that 24 jersey, and Jesus ends up being 24 in Strong's Concordance. So on and so forth. My first address was 404 Lime Street, and that's how many verses in the book of Revelation, so on and so forth. Add it to Daniel's end times verses of 357 at 761. My birthday is 7/6/1961. So numbers, me and numbers, right? Well, when you look at 701, our July 1st date, it comes to 404. 701 going up 3 hours, down 3 hours, go up 3 and back 3, it's 958. But when you're at 404 and you go up 3 minus 3, it's our date of 701. What in the world? Right? I mean, it's nutty buddy. And I know people will say, you're nutty buddy. Well, fair enough. That's the gold with the blue, and that's the, yeah, let's do that one with the blue and the gold. There we go. We'll make it the opposite. There we go. So the book of Revelation, is it opened? Is that the event on this 701? On this July 1st? And he's going to rise spiritually on 703? I don't know. Let's look at some other stuff. '17 is Q. It's 17th letter. 17 is the 1st of July. It's Canada Day. Canada writes the date of July 1st, 1/7. We showed you how Tony Kornheiser always says, good night, Canada. Well, it's going to be good night, Canada, good night, Earth, once this all goes down. Mystery Babylon just laughs because they think it's going to be a controlled situation where they're all going to be taken care of, just like 2020 was. You're no longer needed. So remember the Q drops? We remember the Q drops, right? The QAnon cult. Q drops. Q drop. So there it is. And that was where this, apparently it was JFK Jr. And I've looked him up too and bounced his day that he died off this stuff. It's fascinating. You know how the QAnon, the Q people that followed Q, they believe JFK Jr. was still alive and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a cult and a half, isn't it? Yeah. So let's go back. So the 17th, because my mind starts to wander because I got so much in my head about this stuff. So the Q drops means he drops on 1/7, which in Canada, that's Canada Day, July 1st. They write their date 1/7. We write the date 71, don't we? And most countries write the date like Canada does. We're the anomaly, believe it or not. July 1st is opposite New Year's Day. Remember 3/11 when Mr. Big shut everything down, put the LOCK on the US of A. 3/11 was opposite 9/11. That was the ritual. iPet Goat has what? What? Dead center. What's dead center of 727? 343. New Year's Day blower. We look every year at the Celtic New Year, which is Day of the Dead. We look every year at New Year's Eve, New Year's. What is opposite New Year's Day? July 1st. It's opposite January 1st. Fascinating. And then I ran the U2 New Year's Day song. I don't know what I did with that. I had started building y'all that. No big deal. So think about Zechariah 11:17, the deadly wound. There's a 17 in it. Think about his rising. There's a 17 in it. 1-7. Victory over it, winning it. 1, WON. Remember, numbers can be words. The number 2 could always be a TO in that language. That's why the Lord made sure our numbers are also other words. 1, WON. 2, TO. So always look at numbers as a language, or I have my whole life. So there's the whole thing about Canada. The Q, the 17 has been in 1776. The 17 is in the 177 days between these eclipses. Matter of fact, most all eclipses bounce off 176 or 177 days. That's a legitimate reality anomaly. July 1st in Gematria. Well, there's the 1505 of the IPEC Goat flower full moon that made Obama's eyes bug out. Comes to Anne Hathaway, who, of course, was in The Dark Knight Rises. She spells her name ANNE, like my mom's middle name and like Trump's mom's middle name. I tell people all the time, he and I are on spiritual opposite ends of the spectrum. The Lord's pulled me out of the world. I can't find a girl I would date that would date me because of this stuff that I do. The fact that I will not participate in Christmas, Easter, birthdays, none of it. It's just what the Lord's called me to do. Yeah, I mean, almost married a girl in 2015, and guess what? She was turned into, years later, a person that followed Q. And there's a 701 in her current address, and was when we dated. But Anne, ANNE, Anne Hathaway, she is 15207 days on July 1st. 207 is 119 Donald in simple gematria, and 88 Trump in simple gematria. Remember Fahrenheit 11.9. A lot of people say, oh, it's backwards 9/11. I'm telling you, it's Donald, which means world ruler. Don means boss. That's what all your mafia stuff's about, because Trump is the Don of the earth, the DON. He's the boss. And Donald means world leader, world boss. Can't make this stuff up. New Year's Day, IPEC Goat, opposite January 1st. The U2 song is 148 days to July 1st. 148 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. Also comes to Swifty. July 1st does. It also comes to 4043, which there's your 404 for the book of Revelation. It will convert to 44. You know, you can move these words around since it's just converting letters to numbers. So it could also be 4403, which 440 is Antichrist. So those numbers are giving you 404 and Antichrist on July 1st. 440 is Antichrist in Jewish gematria, which is the most biblical. Comes to Broken Arrow, which was a movie in 1950, 1 hour, 33 minutes. That's Revelation 13:3. First time deadly wound is mentioned. And it is 2701. It's 27,010 days. There's your 701 to July 1st. It's got the date built right in. And remember, what we're looking up is July 1st in gematria. All three ciphers. The end of the Bible. It comes to, it also comes to I Love You Man, which is a film. So we started looking at that. Let's go ahead and click. and click and click, because the time from July 1st to the release date is coded with murder. So let's take a look at it. I Love You Man movie. It's Paul Rudd and Jason Segel. It is March 20th, 2009. I think I can dump that now. The calculation of 320 to our 701. It's 15 years, 3 months, 11 days. There's your 311 code, your March 11th code. It's 183 in the months. July 1st is day 183 of the year with 183 left to go. 83 is murder in gematria. Might as well go ahead and bring that up. Murder is 79 in simple, 34 in full reduction, 83 in reverse ordinal, 38 in reverse full reduction, 399 in Jewish, the most biblical. So it's day 183 with 183 left, which is murder in reverse ordinal. It's also, the hours begin with 13:3. Again, Revelation 13:3. Look at the weeks, 797. Again, murder is 79 in simple gematria, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Got 803, 808 in the minutes. Nothing but 83s, 38s, along with 88, which is Trump in simple gematria. Keep going. It also comes to 399, which is murder in Jewish gematria. We just showed you that. July 1st comes to 3. You can move those around, 933, 993, but it comes to 399, which is murder in Jewish gematria. These are heavy ciphers for July 1st. I cannot remember. Comes to Eastern Star, comes to Viva Las Vegas, which the movie did nothing for me. But when I clicked the song by Elvis, it has murder. And remember the 3 palindromes about Aleister Crowley's death? The days were a palindrome. The years, months, days were a palindrome. And the months, days were all a palindrome of Aleister Crowley's December 1st. I forgot to tell y'all that 79 is in those days of his palindrome. This whole Aleister Crowley thing is what kicked off me looking at this date. So it says the song is murder 79 in days. So what am I looking at here? 7/10/1963. What in the world is that? I click something. Oh, the Viva Las Vegas. Okay, 7/10/1963. It's 22272. It's 60 years, 11 months, 21 days. So you have your 121, which is Antichrist simple gematria. It's 731 months and 21 days. So you have your 121 again, which is Antichrist fused with or next to 73, which is the rising date. So it's 73121 because it's 731 months, 21 days. Remember, the AI sets all of this up. The ghost has been in the machine ever since the computer's been invented. Computer's been invented way before they told you it was invented. Demonic spirits no longer dwell in crystal balls or Ouija boards. Well, I imagine they could, but they are in the technology per the album by the Police, Ghost in the Machine. And there's Elvis's Viva Las Vegas. So I ran April 28th and July 10th, didn't I? So here's the other one. So the recording date, I think it was 4/28/1960. No, that was the release date. It's 21/9/79. So 79 of murder, simple gematria is in the days. 313 is in the weeks, begins the weeks. Remember, the Zapruder film was frame 313, which is nothing more than Revelation 13:3 backwards. That's the first time deadly wound, but did live is mentioned. So anyway, I wrote all of that out here, the 121 Antichrist, the 121 there. the 121 there, and did not even realize that there's your 73, the rising day. July 3rd is there next to Antichrist 121. Also comes to World War Z. World War Z's release date, 2, July 1st, the potential 86ing day. It is 404 in the days, 4047, 7's number for cleansing. And so 404 is the amount of verses in the book of Revelation. It's right there. And on his rising day, World War Z also would be 4049. And look at that. 133 months and 1 day. So you have your Revelation 13:3 code. It's 11 years, 1 month, 1 day, 11:11 code. It's just packed. Stuff is packed. I can't even begin to tell you. It's this July 1st date, and we've seen all this before and nothing happens, but I can't remember seeing this much bizarre and obscure stuff in a very long time. I'm trying to get rid of stuff that we no longer need. Yeah, that's a big deal right there. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the rest of my prep. July 3rd in Gematria. The numbers are 421, 762, and 127 in simple. Comes to May 17 in Jewish Gematria. So I ran May 17 of this year to our rising day, and it is that 47 days. Remember, Trump's running for president is called Agenda 47 to be the 47th president. It's 1 month, 16 days, which is a backward upside down 9/11. And 116 was in the Twin Pines Mall, Back to the Future, on that big clock because it's a backward upside down 9/11. And that it would also be 45 days as Trump was president, 45th president, on the 86ing day of July 1st, rising on July 3rd, rise on the third day. Allah, Jesus, it's a spiritual rising. The world will think he's dead up until the abomination of desolation, which if he goes down now on July 1st, I think that would be the Ring of Fire, Donnie Darko date of the Ring of Fire solar eclipse of October 2nd. I'm telling you, though, August 17th is big, and so is September 30th. Just gigantic days. But right now, we are looking at July 1st. July 3rd also comes to Jack Parsons, comes to Minneapolis, which is the Twin Cities, which is why they had the fake staged event on May 25th, 2020. And so it's a perfect 1,500 days, even to the George Floyd day, to July 3rd. That's very interesting. It's a perfect. And it would be 1498 on the 86ing day, and the 98th verse is the white horse crowning verse of Revelation. 98th verse of Revelation is white horse crowning. What else? Got to be done. 11/3 to 7/3. 11/3, 2014. That is when they erected One World Trade Tower, which represents the rising of the Antichrist, to our potential rising day of July 3rd. You have a palindrome of 353 in the days. It's 3530. Drop the 0. It is a palindrome 353. It's 9 years, 8 months. 98th verse is white horse crowning verse. And it's an even 116 months. And 116, again, is a backwards upside down 9/11. Things to do. I need to look at the prestige. JFK Jr. to the rising day. I wanted to look at that. Above and below it says 322 code to the event day. So we're going to look at both. Remember, the Q people said JFK Jr. is alive. The JFK Jr. death event, when he's pronounced dead, according to Wikipedia, it's 7/16/1999 to our rising day. 9/11 fused with 119. It's 9119. It's a palindrome. It is 24 years, 11 months, 17 days for Zechariah 11:17 code. And what did I say? That it's 322 code to the event. Yeah. So you run JFK Jr.'s birthday of 11/25/1960 to the event day, potential fake staged right eye wound event. There's your skull and bones 322 right in the middle of the days. 23229. Anyway, that's it, folks. But I know it's crazy. I know I'm crazy. Just been drawn to numbers my whole life. Love you.